Welcome to the TheManlyPotsies, everyone. It is Thursday, and I'm your host, Zeb. This past week for me has been a bit up and down. I didn't end up doing a whole lot. I did manage to go bowling with a couple friends, played a little bit of disc golf, and I mowed a ton of grass. Other than that, though, it's just basically been sitting here. My symptoms have been really giving me the runaround. So, the doctors have me on a new med. I might have mentioned that, and it's been making me sleep really light. And so I haven't gotten nearly as much sleep as I need, which always buggers me up. And it's also been giving me some rather nice headaches, so it's been a little unpleasant. Plus, I've been getting my little fibromyalgia type pains for the last couple days, and that's just, it's horrible. So it makes you not want to move at all because it hurts whenever you do. And yeah, so not a whole lot of doing happening over here, but I have been pushing myself a bit though. I'm right on the edge of my property, or my parents' property, I guess, and there's a field directly behind me, which you might not be able to see because the arborvitaes are in the way, but yeah, so the wind could be an issue. But I decided to do this video out here today because it is incredibly nice out, and there's almost no wind, which is extremely rare for this area. Anyway, I was glad to hear that most of you guys don't have a problem driving. Dave. Joel, I'm sorry that your parents don't let you drive. That's a bummer, dude. So I guess I'm kind of an outlier among the guys in that regard. I was figuring that we'd all have some issues with it, but and I realized that I didn't have a chance to actually answer my own question last week. It was because I completely ran out of time on the video. Even when you think it's going to be a short video, it's incredibly easy to go over. So, but for me, I can usually only drive for about 20 minutes at a time. I mean, it's not a set limit or anything, it fluctuates all the time, but whenever I go past that threshold, I start to feel tired, my eyes want to close really bad, and I start getting dizzier. So, sometimes it's not a problem, like last week when I went up to my buddy's house, and that was about 40 minutes, so, well, half hour to 40 minutes depending on traffic, but it's been like that ever since the whole half year of panic thing happened to me. I don't remember if I really talked about that on this channel, but I've got a video about it, the history of my illness or something like that, over on my channel. So, yeah, check that out if you're curious. But, yeah, ever since that happened in 2008, driving's been a bugger for me. So, I'm working on it, but it's very slow going. Anyway, I'll get to everyone's questions now. So, Andrew, you asked, do your friends and family understand, and do they give you a hard time about it? Well, I'm pretty fortunate. I have a very, very understanding and caring family. My mom, in particular, has been fantastic throughout this whole thing. She's spearheaded keeping track of all the doctor informations and the stacks and stacks of paperwork and everything, driving me to doctor's appointments when I feel too bad, which is most of the time. So, you know, she's been a godsend. And the rest of my family they've been pretty good in general. Most of them are a bit sympathetic, but they don't really quite get what I feel like, other than to appreciate feeling dizzy. Some of them, you know, I mean, it's different for everybody, but you know, some of them don't really talk about it. They don't ask me anything, things like that. But in general, my family's been great, so that's been very nice. David, you asked, how many days per week do we get out of the house and actually go do something? obviously I think that fluctuates for all of us quite a bit, but I'd say on average I try to get outside of the actual house every single day, especially if it's nice out like this. I'll at least wander around my yard, take pictures, and we have 5 acres here, so I can actually move around quite a bit. But I usually get off the property and go and do something, whether it be a movie or hanging out with friends or bowling or disc golfing, anything like that. I try and go at least 2 times a week. Sometimes I'll go even more than that. Last week I was probably out of the house and doing something, I was going to say every day, but I know there was a couple bad days in there. Probably 5 days out of 7 last week. This the past couple of days though, I've been just pretty much grounded. Yeah, so Frank, you asked, do we get tremors and what do we do to control them? I do get tremor-ish types of things. I'll get real shaky, and when I move like that, it'll like stutter. And when my symptoms flare up quite a bit, I'll get this weird vibraty feeling all over. It kind of feels like I'm like, I use the term buzzing, like I'm sitting on top of a giant bumblebee or something, just all over. But I don't know if anyone can relate to that. But as for like typical traditional tremors, I don't really get anything like that. So, and I have never found anything that helps control the shaking or tremors or whatever it is. So, you also asked how we do with flying, and I haven't flown in a very long time. Never really flew a whole lot anyway. Most of our family trips and traveling was all with driving, which I prefer anyway because, you know, to me it's more about the journey and seeing the sights and experiencing the countryside than it is about just getting to the destination ASAP. So I don't think that I'd tolerate flying very well at all, though. Dark Knight asked, has having POTS affected our relationships or our dating life? That's a big yes. I have not gone on a date since before all of this began for me. It's been a very long time. Partially because of my anxiety, partially because of just the level of symptoms, you know, partially because I live at home with my parents and don't have a job. You know, it's just in general, my lifestyle is not exactly conducive to relationships. So in that regard, yes, it's had a huge impact on my dating life. It sucks, but so anyway, my question for all of you is, and I think actually Frank, you talked about this a little bit, so it may have been brought up on the forums or something. So I apologize if you guys have already all talked about this, but for those that watch our videos, I think it's probably a good thing for us to vocalize on here. How often are you guys able to exercise? What kind of exercises do you do? And do you find that it helps or hurts your symptoms at all? For me, that kind of goes along with getting out and doing something. I try and disc golf as much as I can, usually once a week when it's nice out. And I'll play a full 18 as long as I can handle it, and usually I can. And I also like to bike a lot, so on days when it's not excessively windy and it's nice out, I will be biking. I probably average about 5 miles or so. It's not a whole lot, but it's something. So that's mostly what I do. And as for what it does to me, usually while I'm exercising, I feel a little better. I feel a little relief from symptoms, but whenever I stop, I get way dizzier and loopy and things like that. So I guess that's it for now. everybody have a fantastic week, and I hope you can get outside and enjoy this day if it happens to be nice where you are. So take her easy, everyone.